Let's start the show. Hello, Internet. I'm Joe.
I'm Eric.
I'm playing Here's the Storm.
And I'm James.
Hey, we have a special guest this week.
Special.
Special guest, James. James, why? We have?
Yeah, James. What the fuck?
Yeah, we invite you on the show, and now you're already talking. We don't.
What's
know
this
how to deal
wee
with
shit?
this.
What's this wee shit? 5 minutes ago, you're like, by the way, there's a guest. I was like, whatever.
I think I plugged it at least once last week. James is a aficionado of carrying things, right?
Yes, I pick things up.
You carry things? I carry things. How convenient is that?
Yeah, we look for really low-hanging fruit as far as topics are concerned.
You're talking about balls.
Oh, Jesus.
No, that would be. Well, no, I guess it could be fruit. Oranges and bananas.
The fruit of my loins.
Those are children.
Oh, well, same difference.
The main topic this week is what kind of gear that we carry around with us on a daily basis. And James, like I was saying, is a aficionado and carries around lots of good stuff. And I can't wait to talk about that. But first, we have legitimately emails sent to the show at justcoolenough.com. Again, if you want to participate in the show, you can send us an email to our email address, which is theshow@justcoolenough.com. We also have a live chat room. You can go there. Each week, we start the show at 6:30 sharp Eastern Time, and you can join the live chat room and be like the fifth host on the show. And sometimes we say things like...
Honestly, it'll be like the third host because you'll interact more than Ike does normally.
Yeah,
it's true.
Ike plays video games during the show because he's just...
Yeah, but I have James here to carry it now, so you don't need me.
Yeah, that's what I do. I carry things, so I can carry your part of the stuff for you.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's...
Oh, good. Maybe I could take a break this week.
Our live chat room is provided by Alpha Geek Media. Go check out Alpha Geek. They do tons of great live streaming. That's where I get my tech news from Tom Merritt. Techno music from Tom Merritt.
It's where I get my animated GIFs of Techno Viking.
Oh, wow, he's still around. But first, like we always start off with, how was your week? Eric, how was your week? What did you do this week?
I've been doing the live streaming Dungeons and Dragons with Saving Throw for a while now, and this week we actually did a 24-hour stream, which we did one of these before, but this was the first one I was significantly involved with, and we're raising money for, and we're still raising money all this month for Alzheimer's, but it was really awesome because we hit our goal towards the end of the night. Actually, we still had a few hours left when we hit our goal of $4,000, and we're still continuing to raise money throughout the month. But last time around, I just showed up for like my normal Saturday game, and this time I decided to sign up for other games. So I actually showed up. The first game I did was at 4 a.m., which was an interesting event, waking up that early, not getting much sleep, and then showing up and playing a tabletop RPG. But we played Gamma World, which was fun because I basically played a sentient pile of spoons in the shape of a hawk named Bernard.
Is there any other kind of pile of spoons?
No, but it was funny because like the whole thing was it's supposed to be this very lethal game, and like you kind of just randomly create characters by rolling dice, and then like when you die you just do it again and like randomly create that. So like people kept dying and having to restart, but my Spoon Hawk survived to the end. He in fact was the hero. He died in a manner that was very like Spock from Wrath of Khan style of death, and so it was really awesome. And then afterwards we played a game called End of the World, where you play yourself trying to survive an end of the world scenario. In this case, it was a alien invasion. I was disintegrated very quickly. So then I had to...
I think a lot of the world's population would be disintegrated.
I wasn't... Yeah, I felt like... Also, I kind of hampered myself, because when I created my character, I did it before I started running, and I've been running now, so like I was like, you run! I was like, well, shit, I gave myself sedentary. Like 2 months ago, yeah, I was very sedentary. Now, I run a lot more often. I would be okay, but that's what my character sheet says, and then I got disintegrated. And then... I had a nice little break between games where I took a nap on a couch and then did another game and then walked home. And it was it's weird being up that long and not getting sleep, and then having to like perform.
Did you start hallucinating?
No, I just was really tired, and then like after all of that, hours and hours, I think 9 hours of games with a short nap in between 2 of the games. Then I had to go to a sketch meeting and pitch a sketch, and then
It's like, what if this guy came in and just like went to sleep in front of the audience?
no, it was much cooler. It was about a wizard who works in an office.
Oh, that is much cooler.
Yeah.
That would be convenient.
That's
Yeah.
kind of my life.
What about
Well,
you paperwork?
You're a
Well,
wizard,
no,
Joe?
the idea is that he doesn't. He's confounded by technology. He doesn't understand it because.
It's a good premise, man. I hope it gets turned into a sketch.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Ike, how was your week?
Good. I was on a car podcast, oddly enough, at the very beginning of the week.
Ugh.
I can't remember the name of it, though.
I am sure that we've had hosts on the show that have been on that show and maybe even created that show.
I don't think so.
I think Ike's still really busy playing his video game.
No. So I was the rest of my week went pretty well so far. School is ending, and I am looking forward to Vegas next week.
Oh yeah, you're preparing for your vacation where you're going to be going to Las Vegas. How many weeks you're going to be off the show?
Just one.
Oh man, I thought it was going to be more.
That's
longer.
bullshit. I know.
That's
Joe
way
will
better
just-
than our co-host. He's taking a trip and he's gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
See,
I mean,
So we have to do
that's-
things like get Ike to come on our show to fill his spot.
they're so
Yeah, that's
desperate.
never like.
That's unacceptable, Ike. I know that you almost never miss a show, and you're constantly here. And Joe will just spur of the moment, 5 minutes before a show, tell us that he's leaving for 3 weeks. But it's bullshit that you're telling us months in advance about this.
Yeah, I don't think that that's fair. Ike.
I'll try to give you more notice
Unacceptable.
next time.
If you
We're
could
not
give me
used to-
less notice.
Yeah, I'm not used
Oh,
to
less
dealing
notice.
with.
Yeah, I can-
Yeah.
We work well under pressure here, so you just need to just drop it at the last minute. So like it's like a test. Like I just leave you guys hanging, and then you guys figure it out, and now you're stronger because of it. It's like working out. You got to tear down the muscle, and then you're stronger afterwards. James,
But what happens if you pass or fail? What's the difference?
you only pass or fail in my heart. It's
okay.
it's like whose line is it anyways? The points don't matter. James, so nice having you on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Where you do a podcast yourself that I've been on a few times. Ike has also been on. Everybody's been on it except for Eric here.
Yeah,
Um,
Eric. do you wanna come on
Everyone
the show?
except for one of us.
And I know I've plugged the hell out of it. It's the magnificent Top Dead Centered podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the people about it a little bit.
Well, it's myself and a gentleman named Eric Simpson, as well as another gentleman named Michael Block, and statistically also a fourth gentleman named Joe Cariotti. Joe has been on our show for a significant portion of our episodes. And basically, we air mid-Sunday, and we sarcastically talk about cars for about an hour to 2 hours. And sometimes we talk about unspeakable, disgusting things that happen to dumpsters. But mostly, I really wish that hadn't happened. But mostly we
so
talk
does the
about
dumpster?
cars.
I'm just throwing that out there as a guess.
I'm just
Uh-huh.
saying, if you're gonna start with an episode that's not the one you want to start
Don't.
with, that's
If you're
like a third episode, fourth
That's
episode.
a don't
which is
ever
where
listen to that episode, or just
You can-
skip the last 20 minutes of that episode.
ShoutEngine.com allows you to take down episodes.
Yeah, yeah,
But
it's
it was.
it's becoming a possibility.
I mean, it's only a little bit of libel, right? It's not a big deal. If you
Yeah.
do it to yourself, it's not libel. It's called something else, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, we talk about cars, and all three of us are administrators of a Facebook group called Obscure Cars for Sale, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's very creatively named. But it's like if you've ever wanted to find a '91 Dodge Spirit RT on Craigslist in like Ohio, it's your Facebook group. It's like
But
13,000.
if I were looking for a
photos.
PT Cruiser,
They're
We've
not
actually
obscure
seen
enough.
we've actually seen a couple. I mean, I would say that the turbo stick shift convertible ones are obscure enough because I've seen one. But yeah, so that's kind of our shtick, and we talk about cars, and it's very nerdy in a car sort of way. And we brought Ike into our little world on Sunday, and tried to get Ike to understand. I still don't think Ike understands, but maybe a little. I don't know, Ike. What do you
no,
think?
I
Maybe
just
a little
pretend
closer?
I do. I mean, I can pretend I can play one on television.
Okay.
listen-
Understands.
I listened to that episode and I was pleasantly surprised at how entertained I was. There was a few times.
So were you expecting not to be? Is that what you're telling me, Joe?
Honestly,
Are you not entertained?
I was not expecting much. Like, okay, the bar was set really low. Because okay,
Wow,
like
that's nice.
I've spent time with you. You're not a car person, but you came at it at just such an interesting angle, and it was so entertaining to hear a non-car person talk about vehicles and design. And I think that if you're gonna start with an episode of a car podcast, like I would direct people towards that podcast and say, hey, check this one out. This one's really excellent. And just really good questions, and I was thoroughly entertained, and I even laughed out loud a few times, and
Yeah.
I mean, what other podcast can hosts invite a guest on and then have the guest do all of the interviewing?
Well, that was kind of the whole point, Ike, was getting some
format.
perspective and answering some questions for somebody that's not into the community and into all that. So it was kind of. That's what I had said
really
when I
enjoyed
was. Yeah, well, good. We enjoyed having you on there a lot. It was a really interesting episode because I feel like you can some podcasts fall into the trap of doing the same shit over and over and over and over and over. 337 times. So we tried to do something different, and I think it worked because it's one of those like, let's get a guy on that like doesn't even really like cars and doesn't know anything about cars to talk about cars, and like, you know. That's different.
I feel like
and it worked. I thought it worked great.
A big-time podcast network is going to come in and be like, I like what you're doing, kid. You're really thinking outside of the box. Why don't you come join us? See? Like,
Joe, I'm kind of curious. Are there actually big podcast networks?
No.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean we can't start one.
I mean, there are big podcast networks, but we like to pretend they don't exist because they've never called, and they never will. So we're like, no, that's the myth. That doesn't happen.
There definitely are big podcast networks out there. And the thing is, you have to put in work to get big, and, you know, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
I have a day job. I mean,
right, like, what are you supposed to, like, okay, what are we supposed to all just quit our jobs and podcast all day? Then we'll all have to live in the same commune, and we'll have nothing to eat. It'll be terrible.
Isn't that what YouTube is?
That's
no, people on YouTube make money. The fucking PewDiePie guy, he makes like 6 figures a year playing. I'm sorry, I'm not going to start yelling. This isn't my podcast to yell on.
No, but this is the place to do that. Like, if you're going to do that, here.
It's
safe.
It's a safe
space
for you. Yeah, safe.
Huh?
This is safe.
It's a safe place. Yay!
Yeah, you're safe here. You're amongst your peers.
Okay. Yeah, the whole YouTube ecosphere is a bizarre thing. You know, people, you know, you see people that are like Roman Atwood, and he's like, oh, this is my house, and here's my GTR, and this is my, you know, this, that, and the other, and it's like, what do you do? And he's like, I make dumb videos on YouTube. Like, I don't think he has another job. I think he just makes.
That's all you need these days. If you're smart enough to come up with the best, dumbest channel, you can pretty much live off.
Yeah,
of it.
Well, then maybe I'm just mad because I'm not.
Yeah, right. Like, there's that, but I think there's a better chance of you becoming.
I'm not stupid enough to come up with a dumb channel. Damn. Curse me and my intelligence.
Man, that's really damning with faint praise. I'm not dumb enough to do something that dumb. Damn it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's funny because I think, like, for as long as we've been doing it, we've been approached by, like, really crappy, like, networks that that spam email everyone that has an email address. Like, hey, you have an email address. Do you want a podcast on our network? Do you want to?
Yeah, I've turned down a lot. Like I whenever I see them, I would like delete them and stuff. They'd be like, hey, join our network. Go to this website and fill out an application. And like one time, Joe was like, hey man, what? Did you see this email? I was like, yeah, I was just about to delete it. He's like, no man, come on. I was like,
I always.
We also got this other email from our rich uncle down in Namibia. All we have to do is send him money.
Somewhere in the background, the theme song to the Jeffersons starts playing. Moving on up to the east side.
I could
pick a point where you can't move up. Like, it's not because there isn't enough space. It's just you don't have the physical willpower to do it.
Yeah, it's just barely just getting up. It's just a struggle.
That sounds like a personal problem. Speak
My
for
whole
yourself.
goal for podcasting isn't to make money because when I got into it, I thought, no, I don't think there's any possible way to make money doing this. I don't think so. And I have a job that I like doing, but I want to entertain people, and
I think, yeah,
and I want people to be, oh, I know that guy. Like that would be. I mean, that's kind of the long and short of my ambitions with it. So.
you just
So
wanna go
here's the best one of those kind of I know that guy stories. I went to BlizzCon once and someone was like, "Oh, you're Railvis from WC Radio." I'm like, "Yep." They're like, "So where's your co-host? I've been dying to meet him." I'm like, "Awesome."
Oh, that sucks.
Let's
You
be
should be
fair
like,
though.
yeah, I'm Eric.
Let's be fair though. Ralphus's co-host is absolutely amazing, and if you want to listen to the co-host that Ralphus used to have, you got to go download the episode of Just Cool Enough, A Space-Time Oddity.
Yeah, no, I was really upset. I thought we were getting Rob, not Ike. When we were
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
the
Like I
podcast.
got your names confused when we started the show. I'm like,
Yeah,
Eric,
I was second string. No, you made it clear. It wasn't that you got us confused. You're like, "Hey, listen, we're hoping to get Rob.
yeah,
You're our backup."
Maybe after like 6 years, we'll figure out if it works or not. Anyway, is this cathartic? What are we doing here? Let's talk
Heart
about something
conditions?
else. Yeah.
Well, we have these emails that I keep closing out of.
Please stop doing that and start reading them, Mike.
No, I got one right here. We have this one from our birthday friend from last week, I believe. Andrew. Andrew emails us with weekly topic. He said, "I was super embarrassed about sending the email, but your reactions made it all better. I've been catching up on past episodes, and it seems like the only thing that's changed about you guys is Eric seems to have a life now. I'm all for character development, but at least try to make it believable. Whoever is writing the script for these episodes need to retcon it ASAP. As for the weekly topic, I'm afraid I'm not much use. I'm from Scotland, which means no guns for a start, and carrying a knife is banned too, which makes Swiss Army knives and multi-tools a bit of a legal gray area.
Whoa.
The only thing I carry is out of the ordinary is a lighter, which is only out of the ordinary because I don't smoke. There was this girl who worked in the shop next to where I worked, and we'd stand outside and chat during lunch. She was forever forgetting her lighter, and being the gentleman I was, I would have a spare one for her to use. Eventually she asked why I had the lighter when she had never seen me smoke, and I couldn't come up with a good excuse before she realized I got it for her. Thankfully, it came off as sweet rather than dorky, and we had a good laugh about it. Nothing ever came of it, but I kept the lighter on me because old black and white films don't lie. There's no faster way to the person's heart than lighting their cigarette for them, and I think and poison them slowly to death. I wanted to add to the end of that because you left it without a period.
That's a nice little email from Andrew here.
Nothing says I love you more like poisoning the person that you have feelings for.
Here,
I actually know a lot of people that are in this community that carry lighters that don't smoke because they're convenient. I don't, but it is a thing. So,
Well, yeah.
but that is a very thoughtful gesture.
If you know people that smoke, it's good, I assume. And also in a pinch, they can be used as bottle openers.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah, and
Or meth cookers.
yeah, I was gonna
Use
say
it for
there's a lot
crack.
of things you can do.
No, you can't cook meth with that.
Yeah,
you need
no.
like at least a butane torch. But if you're gonna shoot up some heroin, yeah,
That's
it's just
what-
that
that's
and a
what-
spoon.
There you go.
Or if you're in the middle of nowhere and you break something that's plastic and you need it to sort of hold back together, a lighter actually is kind of handy.
Or if you want to burn hairs on your body, you can also use a lighter.
Or burn hairs in someone else's body.
Yeah. Or if you've got those little unravelly string things that hang down from the hems of your jeans, because you never buy new jeans and they're annoying, you just with the lighter and they go foop and they disappear. It's
You
magic.
can take care of pet hair.
No.
you can't take care of pet hair with a
You want
lighter.
to
No.
clear a field of brush.
You don't
If
like
you
the
kill
buildings
someone
you're
and
in?
you need to get rid of the body,
No,
All
not
you
with
is-
smoke and not with fire.
Yeah, that's bad, man.
If you're not an efficient Nazi, you might carry one.
I think you should probably use
If you
Vax.
go to a lot of concerts where they break it down at the end.
they have an app for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even need lighters anymore. That's crazy. Unless you're trying to get to the girl's heart and lungs.
Everyone
Maybe
just.
you need a boombox.
I didn't know that because I don't go to concerts, but a friend of mine told me that people just hold up their phone screens now instead of lighters.
That's just literally the worst thing.
Do you think
There's actually oh god, what's the nerdy rapper? Watsky.
Yeah, he talks about.
Yeah, he says it. I've seen a lot of people raise a lighter app, but if you're at my show, please don't ever try that crap. That fits Watsky. You guys listen to Watsky?
I love Watsky. I do.
Watsky's my shit. He's awesome. Did you hear the song he did with Spose on Spose's last studio album last year?
I did.
Oh, I gotta send you a link to that. It's amazing.
Maybe that'll be a plug. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Where is this guy and how can
Watsky on YouTube? I mean, he's made a few albums now, but he got to start on YouTube.
Yeah, he got to start on YouTube as a white guy raps fast. And he's actually more than just a white guy that raps fast. He's really talented.
This guy, yeah.
He's very intelligent.
Cool.
James,
I know you're definitely a music aficionado also.
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
But we're talking about gear today, but yeah.
Yeah, so shut your fucking mouth.
Shut up, yeah.
Shut your
fucking face, Uncle Fucker.
You want to be on the music?
Do I have to cuss that much on this show? I didn't even ask.
No, we don't allow that.
No.
Huh?
That shit's unacceptable. Unfucking acceptable.
All right.
Unforgivable.
Oh, that's unforgivable. Tell that bitch I want a chicken sandwich and some waffle fries.
I start off this next email, and then we had one more start off for gear, because this one has nothing to do with gear, but I wanted to recognize it because it's a first-time podcast writer-inner person.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a show on the Warcraft movie, and there's no spoilers in this that I know of. Otherwise, well, maybe, I don't know. I didn't bother reading it, but I wanted to.
There are orcs in this movie? Fucking spoilers.
Anyway, this is from Thealize. She says, Warcraft movie, the title. Hey guys, this is my first time writing to a podcast. Well, maybe I did it once to Warcraft Anonymous, but that doesn't count. That was years ago, she said. Whatever. Anyway, I watched the Warcraft movie, and I liked hearing all what you had to say about it. For me, the best part was when Khadgar was in Karazhan.
Whoa! Hey,
no, we all know he's there. I mean,
yeah, but still, don't spoil it for people.
Anyway, sort of nerding out over the books. I play a mage, and I love all things magey and arcane in the Warcraft universe.
Whoa! There are mages in the Warcraft universe? I just wanted to
I've even gone to Karazhan myself and wandered around looking at the books and the details that Blizzard puts in and everything, and it made me squee with a little joy. The inconsistencies were there. Blah, blah, blah. Studying, blah, blah, blah. All right. All right, this part here. Well, this one's kind of a spoiler, but not really. There's a polymorph effect in the movie, and she said she thinks it's awesome. She doesn't know, but she's going to have to watch the movie a few more times before she's certain how she feels about it. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now before I embarrass myself. I will definitely try email or respond to your Facebook post more because listener interaction, yay. For the Horde, Thealize PS podcasts, ? Because we talked about what kind of podcast do you listen to. She says she listens to Just Cool Enough and The Knitting Pipeline because she's such a huge nerd that she also knits and listens to people talk about knitting.
So if she only listens to 2 podcasts, we take up 50% of her podcasting time. I'm honored because
how can you only listen to 2?
This takes up 100% of my podcasting time.
That's amazing. And the knitting, I think the Knitting Pipeline, that just goes to show you that there's a podcast for everything. There's so many different options out there.
I kind of want to go listen to it because I'm just imagining like they might say something every like 10 minutes and then you just hear like the knitting needles like hitting each other.
Dude, knitters are passionate. There's like all kinds of different ways you could.
Oh, I know. My fiance loves to knit. It's just bizarre.
Okay.
It's like the people with the ceiling fans.
Or the people with cars. It's just fucking weird.
I was just going to say, everybody's got their thing, you know?
And speaking of fucking weird, I'm skipping over. Speaking of keep the show moving because we got a lot of gear to talk about. Speaking of fucking weird, we got this from Brady. Brady says, just carry enough? Anyway, he says, hey, JCE crew, here's an update every day carry for this episode, plus a photo, which probably is a virus attached to it.
Oh,
he carries on his persons a purple pen because he loves the color purple, a regular black pen because purple isn't professional, air quotes, purple mechanical pencil because I'm still in college and occasionally need to erase stuff, purple Sharpie, I love the color purple, mustache wax in case I need to curl my tips, that's with a P, purple flash drive because a good hacker always has his files, host cable, never know when I'm going to need my files off my phone, chapstick for my lips, samurai skull handkerchief because I'm a badass gentleman, and a 7-inch tablet Kindle Fire for ebooks and Hearthstone.
Cool.
Right. That's a legit so like, and let's start talking about the gear a little bit. Brady's kicking us off here. But first, if you want to start your own podcast, you can in under 5 minutes for free at shoutengine.com. So start your podcast for free with shoutengine.com. You can make it about gear too, like we're going to talk about right now. The thing that I wanted to talk about with Brady's gear specifically, and I was just presenting it to everybody here. I don't know if you guys probably can't see it anymore. If you're on the YouTube, you had your chance. I'm not putting it back up. The gear that he's carrying is very suited towards his lifestyle, right? And James, I'm sure you being a automotive technician, you're carrying around a vastly different set of gear than an office goer, which that's what Brady's doing. Unless he's some sort of outdoorsman that's very minimalist and likes purple pens, that would be tough to survive.
And he said he had a purple mechanical pencil for occasionally needing to erase stuff. But if you were really that good, Brady, you'd realize that, or make other people realize that you're never wrong. So you shouldn't need to carry an eraser because they're wrong.
Yeah,
and
carrying a pencil shows a lack of confidence in your own ability.
Yeah, if you were at a job interview and I'm like, oh, purple Sharpie, so it means he's into making things permanent. Purple pen, okay, and then purple pencil, maybe not quite as confident as I thought a second ago.
But James, your list of carry is going to be way different than this.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. Well, so the whole principle of everyday carry is that you examine the things that you take with you on a daily basis. You go about your day and do the things that you do. And so my daily carry is going to be different than you, Joe, and it's going to be different than you, Ike, because I don't carry around dildos, and it's going to be different than you as well.
Well, maybe you should try it. It's super handy. You never know. Kind of like that lighter with the last story.
Yeah,
you never know.
Is it considered carry if it's inside you the whole day?
Every butt carry.
You gotta keep the drugs up there somehow.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's the plug. I'm the plug. There you go.
You are the plug.
Jesus Christ! Off to a good start. So yeah, your everyday carry is the stuff that you carry with you that helps you do the stuff that you do during your day. So I work on cars for a living, so I always have a multi-tool and a pocket knife and a flashlight on me. And those are kind of
sound like a robber, some kind of.
I don't have lock picks on me.
A Slim
I don't
Jim,
carry a
lock
mask.
pick.
Yeah. If I had like a
Slim Jim.
ball peen hammer and an automatic center punch and like a lockpick set and like small
I don't know.
amounts
You
of
could
plastic
MacGyver that
explosive.
stuff. I don't know you well enough. You claim you work on cars.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
knows what you do after the car shop closes?
well, I don't pick locks. But so it's
I break
and
windows.
a lot of the EDC community is very much male oriented, so it's a lot of handguns,
Whoa,
knives.
EDC. What is this acronym?
Okay. Sorry, EDC stands for Everyday Carry. It also, if you tag things as EDC on Instagram, people will think that you're talking about the Electronic Daisy Carnival, which is like a ounce and boots and skirts thing, but that's a different thing. That's some different that's a different thing. But so yeah, the whole principle of it is that yours is going to be different from everyone else's. So myself and I brought along some stuff because some of my stuff is the same every day and some of it rotates. I'm kind of a knife nut, so usually the knife rotates.
That sounds painful.
It depends on where it rotates. But I've got a collection of knives. There are a couple that I carry pretty regularly. This is the one that's in my pocket the most. This is made by Spyderco, which is a company out of Golden, Colorado. This is called a Paramilitary 2. And if you do some Googling and you Google something really, asinine and ambiguous, like what's the best pocket knife? Like it's probably that. Most people agree that it's that. And it is, kind of a light, about 3 ounces, just disappears in your pocket. Really sharp, really easy to sharpen, really good lock. Just very user-friendly, very ergonomic, very well made. So I carry that a lot. I also always have a flashlight on me. Right now, the one I really like is broken, so I'm carrying a Streamlight Stylus Pro 2 AAA. Terrible light, don't recommend it. It's just what I have because the one I like is broken. Also, when I'm at work, I carry a Leatherman. This one is a Charge AL, mostly for the pliers that are on it. Pliers are an incredibly useful thing to have if you're a mechanic. If you're working in an office, probably not, other than pulling staples. Um,
A little overkill there.
it's really good for pulling staples. Needle nose pliers are great for pulling staples. And if I'm not at work and I don't want to carry around the Leatherman, which weighs like 9 ounces, so it'll like make your pocket sag, I have a one-piece multi-tool, this little guy. And this is made by Coyote Mountain Outdoor. It's called the Griffin Pocket Tool. You can get these for about $20 on eBay or Amazon or wherever. And it's got, a bottle opener and a straight screwdriver and kind of like a little bit of a pry bar tool aspect to it, and it weighs nothing, disappears in your pocket. And so that's the stuff I normally have on me, along with a watch, a phone, and a wallet. But so, if you're, Susie Soccer Mom, your EDC is going to be, a diaper bag, and there's a whole lot of discussion on who likes what diaper bags, and, this kind of bottle and that kind of, I don't know baby stuff. I don't have a baby, but the guy that wrote in, you can tell he's from his daily care. He's probably a college student. Do we know?
Yep, college student and also a IT guy. Not
and a sex pervert.
And
a sex pervert.
You can tell by the color purple he's into the sex. He
It's
also
the
has a really
mustache
cool
wax that
note.
really drives the sex pervert. That
Yeah.
chapstick.
You never know.
Those are the tools, so to speak, that suit what it is that he does on a daily basis. And obviously the stuff I carry, if you work in an office, like, you probably don't need to carry around a pocket knife. A lot of people do, because, it's a handy thing to have.
Useful.
Yeah.
Why are you so obsessed with everyday carry items like this? Because what makes you passionate about these specific things that you use all the time?
I'd say it's split two ways. And one way I like to say it is the way that EDC people justify things, which is that they're useful. A knife is great for, convenience for opening things. Every time I see somebody struggling to open something with like a key or their teeth or something stupid, and it's like
you just laugh at them.
Yeah, it's like the whole reason that we're this far up on the food chain is that we're smart enough to make tools. Like, use a tool. Don't use your teeth to open up your package from Amazon. That's stupid. So it's convenient. It's like a flashlight. Like, if I gotta go, fix something under the sink, or refill the little soap dispenser, or find something in the back of a cabinet, your average Joe is whipping out his iPhone to get the awful, terrible, shitty flashlight from the Flash to like look but not see, and it's a pain in the ass. Like, you carry a flashlight around for a week, you'll never be without a compact flashlight again. It's so indefinitely useful. So there's that whole side of it, is that it is preparedness, and it is that you're ready for whatever it is that comes about you to your day, and it gives you a sense of peace, and it kind of cuts down on your anxiety, because I'm a naturally anxious person, and I found that a lot of people that are into daily carry are anxious people too.
It's kind of like being prepared, being ready for everything.
Yeah, exactly. But it's being ready for things that would reasonably happen. Like, you don't want to be the crazy guy.
I always carry around an MRE just in case.
Right. I always carry around a snake bite kit. Like, no,
Yeah,
like, I don't.
exactly.
I always have my Geiger counter just on me.
Case, right.
If you live in Fukushima or Pripyat, you'd want a Geiger counter as your
Right, yeah.
But so I bring things with me that prepare me for the stuff that I am likely to go through on a daily basis, and all of the stuff that I have in my pockets I use, because that's what I go through on a daily. But that's the justification side of it. Really,
how did you get involved in the community side of it, though? Because I just, I pick up my keys, my wallet, and my phone, and then I'm like, okay, that's all the community I need out of my things I'm carrying. Why go the extra mile to be part of a community of it?
It was. I tend to jump into things with both feet if I'm into them. And it's just kind of like a enthusiastic personality about stuff. And the way that I got into it was my uncle, who's kind of an outdoorsy type. He's always biking and stuff. One time he was visiting our family, and he pulled out a pocket knife, which I can show you guys a link to, which was a CRKT, which is Columbia River Knife and Tool, Kit Carson M16. And I had never seen like a dedicated flip open one hand, like, air quotes, tactical pocket knife before. I was completely unfamiliar with it, and it was when I was like 12, I think. and I thought it was just the coolest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my whole life. It's got a little flipper tab, and you pull on the tab and flip your wrist, and the knife pops open. And because before that, I'd always thought of knives as like, oh, a kitchen knife, or oh, a Swiss Army knife, or and so that in the same way that I got into cars, where I saw something cool and I started looking into it and reading into it, I just started reading about modern pocket knives. And it's kind of like, well, if I smoke crack, I might want to try out heroin, because heroin is sort of similar but different.
James,
so
don't do drugs. Don't do it.
That's bullshit, because heroin and crack are very different. One's an upper, one's a stimulant, one's a suppressant.
That tells you how much I know about crack and heroin.
Yeah,
never done either.
That's exactly what an expert would say.
Right, but so you fall down that rabbit hole of like, oh, I've got a couple pocket knives I really like, and a lot of the people that are in these groups that discuss knives also have a multi-tool or a one-piece multi-tool. And I'm kind of curious about that, and you start reading about that, and all those people carry flashlights, and then you're on Candle Power forums at 3 in the morning reading about the difference between CR123s and RCR123s, and so it's a really, really vibrant, active community of people that are really enthusiastic about something.
So
and
guys, hold on, I gotta tally Ike and Eric here. When he's saying these acronyms about knives and things like that, is that how you feel when I talk about car stuff?
No, because I have a frame of reference with that.
Oh, okay. Asshole. Because when you're going through these acronyms like they are a vehicle number or something, and do these things get changed like every year, or is it like this is the old standby, the good old tactical knife that everyone needs?
There's a little bit of both. So there are some like stalwarts of the tactical knife community that they're never going to stop making them, and people are never going to stop buying them. Kind of like the knife I showed you guys earlier, the paramilitary 2. They're never going to stop making this. They'll make 1,000 of them a time in Golden, and they'll ship them out to their distributors, and they'll be live on their distributors' sites for 5 minutes, and they're sold out. They're never going to stop making them. They're there and then they're gone. Especially like this is a limited production one. It has a special kind of steel. That stuff is there and gone, and the community will actually, oh guys, this is for sale here, and they'll be gone. Oh, I really wanted to get one of those. Nope, they're gone. Like you'll have to wait 3 more months for more of them. But then other stuff, brands will try weird shit. Like here, hold on, let me reach into my magic box. So this is another Spyderco. I haven't carried this one in years. And instead of having a lock, it has a magnet. Here, it has a magnet that holds the blade open. And it's really clever. You're like, oh, cool, it has a magnet. Well, it's not a very strong magnet, and the first time it closes on your fingers, you go, I'm not going to carry this knife anymore.
That seems like an interesting.
You can't carry the knife anymore. It closed on your fingers.
It's closed on your goddamn hand. So they made this knife for a year. They made 1,000 of them or something, and they went, okay, this didn't work, and they discontinue it.
So wait, is that one like super rare? Does everybody want that one? Like as a collector,
Yeah,
like that's the magnetic
rare,
one that chops off your hand.
It's very rare, but nobody wants it because it's terrible.
That's the knife when you get in a knife fight and you want to make sure it's fair. That's the knife you give the other guy. Well, you pull out your other good one.
You don't want to bring a magnetic knife to a real knife fight.
You're so good at so good at carrying gear that you bring an extra knife for a knife fight. Is that what you're telling me?
Some people carry multiple knives on a daily basis, and they're like, well, this is the nice one, and then this is the one that I use to cut shit with, and it's like, I realize there are degrees to everything, and I'm not at that degree of weirdness. I carry stuff that I use, which
like one's decorative. It's just like a big hat or something. It's like, hey, this is my cool big hat knife. Check it out.
This is my big, and I do have some knives that are big hats. They're much more like appearance and tactile feel and all that.
To cut my cocaine with, and this is the knife I'm going to cut bitch with. So keep talking.
I keep one in each pocket. I got the clips flip, motherfucker.
I'm just saying, most knives that you would carry probably wouldn't be great for cutting cocaine. That's why we use credit cards.
You know an awful lot about drugs, Eric. I'm getting a little suspicious.
You do seem to know a lot about cutting cocaine.
He has no life and yet no job, but he does know an awful lot about drugs. He's laundering money through his improv group.
It's not what you think. It's just that I do a lot of fucking drugs.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, it's
It's
exactly
exactly-
what you think.
I thought Eric was a Big Brother or something like that. Like he was like voluntary time to.
I mean,
torn and
I
push kids.
make them call me Big Papa.
You love it when they call you Big Papa.
I do.
I love it when they call him Big Papa. Okay,
Um,
Eric, what do you carry on a daily basis besides I don't know any what do you when you get
Besides
up
your
in the morning,
crack pipe.
I've got no, I
besides
got,
all your drugs?
Listen, you don't do the drugs. You don't do the product. You sell the product. You don't try the product.
A cigar right from Cuba Cuba. I don't bite it.
Yeah.
It's for the look.
I just
I don't light it. It's for the look.
Yeah.
I just bite it. All right, Will Smith.
I'll tell you exactly what I carry. I carry my keys,
Okay.
which have I got a little thumb drive on them. It's only 2 gigs, but it's enough. And I've got my cell phone case / wallet.
Oh my gosh, the thing's
Oh, that's
huge.
kinda
It's like a
cool.
big
Yeah.
sandwich.
So you've got your like cash and cards and ID and all that, and your phone.
Yeah, so that if I lose one, I lose all of them.
Yeah.
I actually,
failure.
I have a spec phone case, and it's incredibly dirty because I always have brake dust on my hands. But I have a spec phone case for my iPhone, and it's got a little slot in it for a credit card. I don't ever carry a credit card in it because of the same thinking of like, well, then I'll lose my phone and my fucking debit card. But
Yeah, I just want to be completely fucked.
yeah.
So, Ike,
Like-
what are you carrying around? Anything special? Or
Well, I wanted. We talked a little bit at the end of last week. Does carry involve just in pockets? Because I know Eric. I mean, Joe and I both have Fitbits. Is that
No,
count
it's
as
not
carry?
just in your pockets. I always have one of 2 Casio G-Shocks I own on. So no, it's the stuff that you have on you. It's not just in your pockets themselves.
So one of my favorite things that I carry is this D20 dice ring, because you never know when you're gonna have to roll a D20.
Wait, so how does that work?
So it's 2 bands, one inside the other, and there's on the outer band, which is a little bit thicker than the inside band, a little bit wider.
To the camera, maybe.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's-
A little bit wider. There are 2 little arrows on it, so that when you spin the band on your finger, the arrows tell you what number you roll.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't actually roll like a 20-sided die, but
No,
it'll give you
you
like
just-
a...
You
Spin.
just take your ring off of your hand and you throw it on the ground.
Fuck this thing! All right, what number was it?
16. All right, nice. Good job, Ike. You landed.
Okay, so that's something that you carry with you on a daily basis because that's something that you do, and it's like a situation that you might reasonably
never
find
know.
yourself in.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know when you
Have
might
you
need to
ever
roll that
used
D20.
Like,
Yeah.
Have you ever used it to play a game?
Yeah, I as a
Emergency
dungeon
Dungeons and
master, I've used it
Dragons.
all the time.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh,
Bada
that's a really
bing.
good idea. Yeah, that's great.
Because
Just sitting there.
dice are always moving around the table, but I always know where this one is, and
I
it usually
kinda
rolls
feel
pretty
like-
well.
That's kind of a really cool tool, well, like to have on you, especially on a game.
Or-
I'm
I was
always
gonna say,
overextending
Magic.
the dice.
Magic, you also usually like Magic the Gathering. You roll a D20, see who goes first. So I have D20 right here. I can just roll it.
And then everybody just trusts you. You just cover up your hand. You're like, yeah, no, it's only my
No,
number.
it's only a 20. Yeah.
Like the games of Magic that I played were always not enough people to need a D20 to do it. So we would just use a 6-sided
Well, then
dice.
you weren't playing epic enough games of Magic.
Well, and I never played like league rules and all that. We just, it was something to pass the time in between classes. But, yeah.
When you're carrying around your gear,
Mhm.
does it change from your work day to your weekend?
It does, yeah. So I will usually carry lighter stuff during the weekend when I'm just kind of bumming around the house. I'll usually carry kind of like a fancier, less utilitarian knife because I can. I don't feel bad about beating it up at work.
That's like your big hat. That's your
Yeah, it's like my big hat. So let me grab a big hat
What'd you
knife.
call me?
I called you a big hat. Okay, so this is a big hat knife. This is
Ooh, yeah, that's impressive.
this is made, and yeah, especially if you look at the back of it.
No,
Look how it's
this
how
is a
much paint
knife.
work done on it. That is also a knife.
Yeah.
What is that?
I have no idea. It was my dad's. I found it in our garage when I was a Boy Scout, and I used it as a Boy Scout until they realized that the limit on blades was 3 inches, and this is 4. So
I was gonna say
That's
that looks
way
kind
more
of
than that.
large. That looks kind of large.
So this is one of my big hat knives, so to speak. This is made by Zero Tolerance. And you know how like a Lexus is a fancy Toyota? Zero Tolerances are fancy Kershaws because Kershaws are like designed to sell in Walmart and sell for $20, and this is like the fancy version of it, and it's it's kind of a little big to use on a day-to-day basis because it's also a 4-inch blade and it's machined titanium and to that kind of thing is more to the point of like it's just really cool and it's fun to play with. Like the pivot itself is actually ball bearing, so it just it's closed and then it's open.
Smooth, like a very smooth motion.
Yeah,
So,
it's very smooth.
The craftsmanship, this is something that I think anybody can appreciate, but maybe someone who's into gear a little bit more appreciates the fine stitching or the ball bearing or the nicer magnetic latch on different things.
Yeah.
But I have to say that the Casio watch that you wear, and it's what you're doing, it doesn't look like anything that fancy. Am I just a total idiot? Do I not know? Is this some kind of crazy watch?
I don't like to use words like that, but yeah, this is a higher end Casio, and I just like digital watches. That's just kind of my thing. But this is so it's solar powered, and it has a compass and a thermometer in it. And it's also mud resistant, so it has like a second layer in between the actual watch itself and the outside to keep sand and shit out of it.
So it's like a really robust watch that is going to handle the brake dust and all the grime that happens of you sticking your arm into engines and things.
Yeah, it's incredibly so, and it also it just works really well. It keeps really good time, and it's got a lot of features as far as practical stuff.
It keeps really good time. I assume that all watches are just good enough to do the time.
They're just good enough.
No, they're not.
All right, lay it to teach me a lesson here, James.
Okay, so if you walk by your average rich dude that's getting out of a Bentley and he's got like an Omega or a Rolex or whatever on his wrist, that's a status symbol watch. That's not a tool watch. Automatic movement watches.
It could be a tool watch, just a different type of tool.
Yeah, it's a watch worn by tools rather than a watch that is a tool. So anything with an automatic movement, with a counterweight that winds itself, is 15 to 30 seconds of accuracy off a day. Whereas
a day? Oh my gosh.
Whereas a modern quartz watch is 15 to 30 seconds a month. And that's beyond, like Casio also makes watches that are radio controlled, so they pick up the time signal from, in the US it's in Fort Collins, Colorado, so it'll sync itself to the second every night. And so it like watches for me are more of like a practical thing than a status thing.
Right.
Because I've never seen much of a direct correlation between how much you pay for a watch past a certain point and like what you actually get.
So where's like the sweet spot for somebody that wants a good watch?
If you like digital watches, and you just want to get one, and you want to get a good one, and you don't mind the like chunky G-Shock aesthetic, and you want an all digital one, they make one called the Rangeman. The model number is GW9400, and it is solar powered. It's atomic controlled. It has it syncs itself to the time signal. It's got a barometer, thermometer, compass, altimeter. It has like everything that they know how to do into a watch that you can like hit with a hockey stick and it won't die. And you can get them for like $200 on Amazon. And it's,
oh my gosh, that seems so expensive. This is, as a non-gear guy, I'm just like, oh, $200 for a watch? Are you crazy? I could buy a Fitbit for that much. But I'm saying that, and I paid $200 for this fitness watch that is totally useful to me. So that's kind of hilarious.
And it's as far as watches go, like actually nice watches, like $200 is nothing. I mean, there are some Casio G-Shock models that go. They brought one out at the big watch, like yearly watch show this year that's like $6,000, which is kind of and it's GPS like controlled.
Like Rolex money, where it's all tiny stuff, or like is it a lot of technology in
that's
there?
Not quite Rolex money. I think Rolexes are more like 5-figure watches.
Really? Oh,
but it might be like Tag Heuer money or like used Breitling money. I don't know.
I'm thinking like used Rolexes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like pawn shops or whatever.
Yeah, it might be used Rolex money, but I mean, it's like, oh well, the case is like hammer toned by craftsmen in Japan, and it like gets a GPS signal instead of like a radio signal, and it's this, that, and the other. So it's like the most feature laden, crazy, well built thing ever. But You know, it's like $6,000 for yeah.
That's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
crazy.
But yeah, I really like digital watches that do shit. So I like a lot of the
So
Casio.
what about the people in the community? There's always like that sect of a community that's just like, oh, you guys.
Yeah.
So what's that segment of the carrying community that are like,
It
oh,
depends
it's
on who you
you
ask.
guy.
For me, it's the people that go to like SHOT Show and Blade Show with $20,000 in small bills and come home with like 5 custom-made knives that they like keep for a week and then resell on the secondary market for twice what they bought, and they like speculate on the custom knife market. And because some of the big names in knife making, like Todd Rexford,
Todd
or
Rexford, he sounds like he
yeah.
makes knives and stuff.
Yeah, like Todd Rexford or Brad Southard or some other people, if they do an open bid, like full custom one-off knife for Blade Show, I mean, it'll sell for $20,000. And to me, it's like, nobody's going to use a $20,000 knife ever. And the reason I like the stuff is using it and how well it works. Like how well does this, hollow ground, like, powdered metallurgy blade cut through cardboard. If you use a really, really well sharpened hollow ground blade, it's like a zipper for cardboard. It's like, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, where did it? So like that's cool to me. But like, oh, I got this open bid Todd Rexford that's like $20,000 and there's only one, and like, look at the countersunk like anodized. I'm gonna sell it and I'm gonna make so much. Then I can. And to me, that's lame. Like I like to use stuff.
What about all those samurai swords I get at the mall?
I don't. Truth be told, like I don't know anything about that.
Are you telling me those aren't made by the best bladesmiths in Japan? Like
Probably not.
Somewhere in the northern territories in the forest, there isn't a man slaving away so that this guy in a mall can sell me this blade?
Probably not. Which brings me to the other segment of the that guys in this community that people dislike. Beyond the like spend $20,000 on one knife, they're colloquially referred to as mall ninjas.
Yes, this is the guy I was hoping you were going to talk about.
Okay, and if you if you want a long diatribe on mall ninjas, you can Google the Shrine of the Mall Ninja. But basically the thought is like everything is tactical and everything is for tactical response and like defense and like, oh, I'm a paramilitary fucking, I've got my fucking Heckler and Koch MP5 tucked under my coat because
they're coming
going to the
for us.
mall. They're coming for me. The government's coming. Obama's taking my guns and they're coming for me, and I'm gonna stand and deliver my fucking. I'm gonna shoot every motherfucker. I gotta have a bulletproof vest, and my knife has got to be fucking tanto edged and black coated with a blood groove, so it doesn't. And it's just like I like pocket knives because they're cool. Like this is fucking cool. Like a paramilitary 2 is awesome. It's a great knife, and I use it to open my mail. Like I use it to open boxes and bottles and shit at work, and cut gaskets off, and like I'm like. Oh, do you carry a knife? Or you hoping somebody attacks you? I'm like, no, because I would just hit them with something. If some child, like a knife is a terrible thing to use in a self-defense situation. Like use a chair or like a can of paint or.
What about this Boy Scout pocket knife that I've had since a child? Could that be used? I mean, look how dangerous it's also got a screwdriver and a bottle and 2 different bottle openers.
I've got a couple of Swiss Army knives.
So do you have anything against Swiss Army knives, or are they like
nothing at all? Swiss Army knives are fantastic.
Okay, because I was thinking about getting one similar to the one you're holding in your hand right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What should I look for in getting a multi, not a multi-tool, but a Swiss Army knife kind of thing?
You should get a Alox Pioneer if you want to write that down. It's ALOX Pioneer.
Okay.
It's like the best balance of tools in a really small package that you just drop in your pocket, and it's all the stuff you need, and it's like not crap that you don't. So like, hold on, let me.
I like getting not crap that I don't need in my pocket tools.
Well, some people like having crap that they don't need. I used to be that guy, like getting onto an airplane or something. I would carry everything with me. I'm like, well, gotta be prepared just in case everything happens. And no, I'm
Yeah.
just like, well, I have my phone and my passport, so I'm good. I got a battery charger too, so.
I mean, this
Yeah.
this knife's got a painting of a ship, and it says El Diablo on the blade.
El Chupacabra.
That's the upgraded version.
Yes, the El Chupacabra. And now I'm having a brain fart here and trying to remember the name because it's not the Pioneer, but they make a Vitronox Cadet. They make one of these that has scissors on it. But the one I've got is the Alox Pioneer, and it's got
Is it the Pioneer X? I'm just looking at Amazon.
Oh, it might be the Pioneer X actually. Hold on.
It
He's
has
just trying to
Amazon.
sound impressive.
I've studied this market for all of 40 seconds.
It
I
is
know
the
everything.
Pioneer X. Okay, so the Pioneer X came out like this year, and a lot of the Swiss Army nerds are like, salivating over it. But it's got a small blade, and an awl, and a straight screwdriver / cap lifter, and scissors, and it also has a small straight screwdriver / can opener.
So I'm just going to assume you're an expert on all of this. So does this seem too impractical? This knife? I mean, it's got a little holster, so I feel like so I could slip it on my belt. It could probably.
Well, it's
use
got a
the
holster. I
screwdrivers.
mean, how
Yeah.
how useless can it be?
Well, see,
Yeah.
James,
Where the fuck did you get that, Eric? Like what?
My mom got this for me once. She's like, I was at a place, probably one of those like, not at a mall, but one of those like things.
Flea market?
Eric,
No,
can
it
you,
was like.
can you show that to the camera again? Just one. See, James, you don't
It's
know.
got like
this.
a dragon's like. It looks
Right.
like the
It's
boss.
got like a skull. Yeah, it looks. It's definitely like it's
Not
totally
from
for
Doom
display.
2, not the one that's the wall. That if you enter the code, you can jump into his head and like.
Yeah.
You remember that?
That's
I feel
very
like I
specific.
feel
know
like this is the knife from the new Wolfenstein game. Only I bought it like 15 years ago.
There's a new Wolfenstein game.
Yeah,
Hey, man.
Oh man, guys, I gotta go. Sorry,
it's really good.
really.
Yeah,
It's not disappointing like Doom 3 was, right?
Well,
no, it's really good.
James, there's a new Doom game out that's
I
actually.
know. I don't know if my computer would run it or not.
Well,
won't.
we could talk about it in a different show.
Yeah, let's talk about it because I am a huge Doom fan.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's really great. Doom is one of those games that everybody seemed to play. You're a huge Doom fan, though. Go on, please.
Oh, I mean that was about all.
Oh,
That's
okay.
about all
I
I
was gonna
was
say,
doing.
you
I really like
maybe-
the original Doom games. I have God, I have a program that allows you to run it on a newer OS, and I can't remember what it's called.
DOSBox.
An emulator.
It's an emulator of some sort, but it allows you to run it on I'm on Windows 10 on this one. It's remarkable though if you get because all of the Doom files are called WADs. I can't remember what it stands for, but like all of them for all of them for Doom 1 and 2 combined are like 16 megabytes for all of the games. It's like how is that possible? But
And, like when you were a kid, you had to like switch discs and like do all this crazy stuff.
Mhm.
I had the shareware version of it. Like this isn't even a real thing. But James, it's been awesome talking about that stuff, and we need to start wrapping it up here and get.
Yeah.
Who is this guy anyway? Thinks you just come on the show and talk the whole time?
Well, what is this?
Is
Yeah,
that?
what the heck? Eric, do the thing.
Okay, well let's stop talking about all this knife shit and start plugging each other.
All
oh
right.
God, do we have to?
Yeah, we do.
Better
You're
than
on the
playing.
show. It's time
Yeah.
to get plugged.
You know what this was. My plug for this week is it's a sketch that I helped work on. It's actually not a sketch; it's a web series. It's called Phone Sober from the guys over at Senior Ditch Day. I did some production assistant stuff on it and helped with the shooting of it, and then some post-production stuff, and it turned out real well. So I'll plug that because I got nothing else.
My plug for this week is Shoddycast, the YouTube channel. They've gotten lots of subscribers, and I hope you've heard of them. But if you haven't, what they do is they break down different aspects of video games and take the science of it. Like they did the science of Fallout laser guns, and they're like, why can this happen? Why could this not happen? Really great stuff, and it's backed with a bunch of science. It's lovely. So go check it out, Shoddycast. Ike, what's your plug?
My plug is these cool little gadgets here. If you have an iPhone, they are called Olo clips. They're also one of my carry everyday items. They are camera lenses for your cell phones.
Can you put it up to the camera again? Sorry, I didn't switch tabs.
You can call me on my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, they're really cool. They're really tiny. I have about 4 of them, and they clip onto your keyring, and then they just slide over the edge of your cell phone.
That's kind of cool.
Wide-angle lenses. They have really close, like 10 times, 25 times zoom lenses. So if you want to see what like insects under microscopes look like, they're really cool.
Perfect. And James, what did you want to plug this week?
I was unprepared for this. But I would say if you like cars, check out our podcast, the Top Dead Centered podcast on Shout Engine. Can I plug Shout Engine?
I mean, sure, why not?
Let's plug it again. You could get your own damn podcast if you got 5 minutes and a computer and a microphone and an internet connection that works. You can get your own damn podcast.
What if you have none of those things?
Well, then you're
on a
You
podcast.
can't do a podcast.
You
How are
can't.
you even listening to this? Go first get a multi-tool because you need to build a house.
Yes. Jack of all trades and master of none. And also check out the Camden Tub podcast, which I'm going to be recording. That publishes Friday morning, and I'm going to be recording that in like an hour and a half. So it's like a marathon
awesome.
thing for me tonight.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that's.
So, next week's topic we actually didn't discuss yet, so look for it on the Facebook page. Go check out Just Cool Enough Facebook. Search for Just Cool Enough, and then you can find our Facebook feed, and then you can get notified of what next week's topic is going to be. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We did the plugs, we did the whole thing.
Are we done plugging each other now?
We're done. It was barely painful.
Hey, you know what? Fuck you, Joe.
What? Oh, dude! I wasn't even done talking about James and how great he was as a guest and all that stuff.
Don't
I
worry,
so
you
many
can thank him on
questions.
Facebook a billion times because apparently that's what we're supposed to do.
Facebook, it's where you go. And thanks to all the people in the live chat room. Bye. Bye, live chat room.
Bye.